good?
Hey, we are David and Kristen, and we make content on the interwebs to encourage, to inspire, and to remind you that you belong using the power of story. We would love for you to subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Hit that subscribe button. Ping.
Yes, ping, ding, bing, whatever sound it makes. Subscribe if you find value in this content. This is our 5th video on mental health. The first one provides context to our story of struggle with mental health. We'll link that video here. And then we have 3 more after that that we'll link down below. One of the things that we're passionate about is mental health because I've struggled with mine for such a long time. And so today on Bell Let's Talk Day, we're continuing the conversation by delving into how to help someone who is struggling with mental health. Maybe you know someone who is, maybe you are. How to help someone who is struggling with mental health.
So a new poll has actually just been released by this group and association in Quebec, which is in Canada, if you're watching outside of Canada. And they have noted that 21% of those polled identified that their mental health was bad or very bad, which they noted was an 8-point increase since April. Okay, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but like this is heartbreaking because the reality is if you aren't the one who is struggling, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to suggest that there is someone in your life right now who is struggling and they need you. They need you to be present, to see them, to come alongside of them. But the question becomes, how do I do that? How do I support someone, right?
In my battle with mental health, ever since I was a teenager, I've realized some things about support. I've uncovered some do's and some don'ts as people have helped me along the way, and as I've tried to help others who maybe are in the same or similar boat. When I was a teen and I was at the lowest part of my mental health struggle, my parents were a huge gift to me. They were shocked when I finally opened up and told them how I was feeling, how much I hated myself, and how I didn't want to live anymore at that time. But even though they were caught off guard, they didn't like minimize my pain, or they didn't try and snap me out of it. They didn't make me feel ashamed of where I was at. Even though they didn't understand fully, they took me seriously. They listened and they heard what it was that I was saying. They allowed me to say and share anything that I wanted or needed to. They didn't force me to talk, but they also didn't like let me off the hook if they knew that I had more to say. They asked me questions, like a lot of questions about where it all started and how long I'd felt that way, what triggered these feelings. They asked me what they could do and how they could help. They asked me what I needed, like again and again and again. My parents didn't always know how to deal with my mental health, but they always led with love. They always started from a place of love. Over the years, I've encountered all kinds of responses to mental health. I've watched and listened to people respond to the struggles of others, and I kept my own mental health a secret because I could see that some people just didn't get it. I've heard people say things that, while maybe they were well-meaning, the things that they said were hurtful and unsafe. I'd hear people say things like, you should pray more, implying that me or other people weren't praying hard enough. I'd heard people say things like, just trust God and have faith. And this implies that I or others who struggle don't have faith or don't have strong faith, which just isn't true. I've heard people say doctors prescribe medication for every little thing these days. And the implication being that medication wasn't needed for my struggle, that medication was weakness, that it was somehow the easy way. And let me tell you that I knew then, and I still know now, that I need medication. And that taking medication isn't easy. They don't fix the problem, they just make it manageable. My point here is that one of the ways that you can support people who are struggling with mental health is by being a safe person, by speaking life and not judgment, by listening first and asking questions before offering advice, and by not offering unwanted advice, by not minimizing or trivializing someone else's mental health. When Kristen and I were dating, I was so freaking nervous to tell her about this struggle that I have, about telling her about my battle with mental health. And I felt like that wasn't really a first date kind of conversation, so I hid it for a while. And I remember sitting on that couch in that lobby, and my heart was beating so fast, like it was beating out of my chest. I had no idea how she was going to react. And when I did tell her, she reacted in a way that was so disarming and reassuring. She told me that she knew that we were going to be okay, that this was going to be okay, that she wanted to still stick it out with me, that she was still in this, that she still wanted us. And what a relief that was. Ever since that day, Kristen has been with me for the good and the bad, and sometimes the really bad with me. She stood with me through all the things, and she supports me by just being who she is, kind and gentle and inspiring and encouraging, and always challenging me to be more myself. I love you, and I'm so thankful for you.
I love you. Okay, so for years, David didn't want to share his journey. He was worried that people were going to treat him differently, that they would discount him for jobs or events or friendships. He didn't want people to know about any of it, and I always understood it, and I respected that. I didn't push because it's been his story, that it became our story, and I knew that one day he would be ready to tell it. I knew that this story would be used to help someone, to bring hope to someone, somewhere. I just knew it, and I explained this to him earlier. I just knew it. There's a lot that I don't know about mental health, but I do know how to be present. I know how to listen. I know how to love. And so my support is not in having all of the answers, because I don't. It's not in having all of the info, because I don't. It's about having the time and the desire to listen and to learn and to walk together through it.
I have these days that I've come to call my down days, where I just can't seem to pull myself up. Everything is harder for me on these days, and Kristen can see when I have these. She asks me if I'm okay, and when I'm honest, and when I say no, she doesn't like chastise me or make me feel bad. She doesn't say buck up. She gives me a hug, and sometimes she doesn't let go for minutes. And it's almost like she's hugging me to remind me that she loves me. Sometimes it takes my body and my mind a few moments to align and remember and understand that truth. Kristen joins me where I am. It's almost like she comes into the dark and you sit with me there. And it's almost like you're saying, let's walk out of this together. She doesn't push me into the light. She grabs my hand and we walk out of the darkness together. I am so, so thankful for you.
We're in this together.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. To summarize what David has said about how to support someone who's struggling with mental health, here are 5 ways. First, number 1, take it seriously by trusting that their words are true for them. Number 2, be present and listen by creating time and space to hear. 3, be a safe person by speaking life and not judgment. And number 4, start from a place of love by treating them the way that you would want to be treated. And then finally, number 5, meeting them where they're at by joining them in the dark and helping them walk to the light when they're ready. I love that David has gotten so much better with his mental health. I love how far he's come. I love that he is being made whole just as we all are. And I love that he has decided in the last few years to share his story publicly. He is the one actually that suggests that we make these videos on mental health because he wants to use his story to bring hope and wholeness to anyone and everyone who will listen. And I really believe that it will. Because here's the thing. there is hope. There is hope. So if you are struggling today, please remember that you are not alone. You don't have to struggle alone. Reach out to someone that you trust and ask for help. Open up to someone who's a safe place and let them in on where you're at, because you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are loved. You are loved. And sometimes we just need to be reminded of that. And please, please remember, you belong here.
We love you guys.